Hi everyone and welcome back. Wow, it's been a while since I picked up the camera, and I have to say my sister's husband passed away, and that's been very hard. And so that's part of my reason, but also because it's just been really freaking cold out here. But before I go any further, let me just stop for a moment and say that if you're new to my channel and just watching for the first time, thank you so much for watching, first off. And second, my name is Juanita. I'm with Jscursions, and I'm all about getting out and getting active, even though I haven't been doing that lately. But I am about that. So thank you so much for joining me. And I really hope you guys enjoy this video, because today I'm going to actually be walking around my property so I can show you what it looks like now that it is snowing here, because this is our first experience. So I moved from Portland to out in the country. I've lived out in the country before, but it was in the woods. I mean, we're talking evergreens every which way. You couldn't even see your neighbors. Over here in this area right here, you can actually see your neighbors in the fall and winter. I mean, if I looked like right over there, I don't even know if you can see the house over there. You can see your neighbors here. And so this is a wide open space. And so it gets really, really cold because you're not sheltered at all by any trees. And I've really took note about a lot of the things that we're experiencing here. And one of the things that we're experiencing is that when it snows, as you can see right here, I have a cover on my porch. And the reason for that is because we get the east winds and we get the south winds. So we get wind all around us so much that everything, rain, snow, whatever falls, actually goes all the way up to our doorstep. So next year, I will be enclosing this a little bit more, so stay tuned for that, because that's a project that I'm going to be working on throughout the year just to get it prepared for next winter. Now, here in the Pacific Northwest, we typically get our winters, if we're going to get a really good snowfall, and we haven't gotten any by November or December, then we will get it in February. And so this is atypical for us now. So I'm sure by now that you guys that are getting snow and have had snow are probably sick and tired of it. For me, this is really beautiful, and I welcome snow. And it is still snowing a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk around and just kind of give you a little bit of a garden tour of how certain things are doing. So I'm going to start by also giving you an update on our pottery shop / guest shop, so that you can see where we're at with that, because it's really pretty advanced at this point. We should have it done probably, like I would say at least within the next month we should have it done, provided it's not snowing. Because yesterday we went to the grocery store, and I have to say that it was quite intimidating to be on this roads. Now, the major highway that runs from Portland to Deer Island, Highway 30, is pretty safe to drive because, you know, they maintain that. The county or the state maintains that. But once you turn off to get up to our property, the road that we have to drive for, I guess 4 miles, I would guess, that road there, they do toss some gravel on it, but it doesn't look like they really kind of maintain it in the same manner that they would a highway. So that was kind of scary. And then when you turn off to the road that we have to go to our property, that doesn't get maintained unless the neighbors all get together and do that, which I don't know if they do or don't. But that road was scary. In fact, I slipped on it a little bit. So I felt relieved to get finally home. And here we are. Okay, guys, let me turn the camera around. Okay, just to start off, they have the stairs put in. It looks like they're going to start putting the rails. They have all the windows. They have all the electrical and I believe the plumbing. They put me a water spigot over here, which I'm so happy to see that, as well as some outlets out here. One here and one over there. So I am really pumped about that. Excuse the background, sorry, the neighbors are out there going to be playing. But yeah, as you can see, all of the electricals put in here, and they ended up putting a half glass door because it had to be to code to do that. So we at least have a window that looks out that direction. And then there is one window that got placed over here. But yeah, you can see where the plumbing is. It's the air conditioner heater over there. So this is our shop. And it's going to be amazing once it's all completed. And it will be insulated, completely insulated in here. So that's going to be really nice. And then we have all the lights. We have, I think, 6 lights up in the ceiling. So it'll be plenty of light. The doors themselves, if it's not really expensive, then we will have windows on this ones. And if they're quite insulated. And then they did put the lights, a couple lights down here, which is really amazing. And then right over in this side is going to be our shed, and it's got plenty of lights in here as well as electrical. So I'm really happy about that. And then they put cedar on the rooftop up there of the porch, which is going to look pretty nice. So let's go in there real quick and I'll show you what's happening in there. I don't know if it's frozen or what. Oh, that's why. Duh. I can't open the door because this thing was in there kind of like a deadbolt, keeping the door from opening. Okay, good. I'm able to get in here. So yeah, so this is what it looks like right now. They still have quite a bit to do. I thought they were doing sheetrock up here, but apparently they're not. But this is what this space looks like. And we do have kind of a air conditioning heater in here. It's going to have probably 6 or 7 pocket lights, as you can see. And then the bathroom is right over here. And they actually had to extend it because it looked really small to me. And so I told them, no, you got to make it longer. So they moved the wall over this direction. So we do have a little window with the screen, which is going to be nice. We're going to have a heater, vent type exhaust fan in here so that it'll stay nice and warm if you're showering in here. And then here's going to be the sink and then the toilet. So there'll be this space here to put like a little vanity or whatever you want right there. Right over here against this wall right here. This wall here is about 10 feet long. So we're gonna put a small refrigerator right here. And then we bought a cabinet to go right here that we're gonna turn into kind of like a coffee bar. And it will have a small bar sink in it. It's not gonna be very large, just gonna be large enough that if you wanna rinse and wash your cup from drinking coffee, you can do that. And then maybe I might have a hot plate in case somebody wants to fry up a couple eggs or something. But for the most part, it's just a coffee bar that's going to go along this wall. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to decorate this and really just see this come alive. And so the stained glass will be placed in here. And then out here is where you can see the view over there, and you'll be able to overlook the whole property. And that's just going to be really amazing. Now let's just take a walk in the property. So this is their yard. And I tell you guys, we get so many birds. And we feed them, of course. I should say my husband feeds them. And I kid you not, I really believe that these birds have spread the word and said, hey, this is where you can find food. Because I tell you, we get a ton of different variety of birds out here. But yeah, here's my garden, my very first garden here. And I still need to work this garden quite a bit. There's still all of the barberries, the 3 barberries, that one, this one, and that one, that I'd like to remove. And I think I'm going to replace those and relocate them over in the other side of this fence over here. Because I think that'll be a good place for them, instead of entirely getting rid of them like I did in the other ones. I still want to remove this shrub or tree, whatever this is, come springtime. It's got little white flowers, but it's not significant and doesn't stand out as much as I would like. So I think having something like this beautiful blue spruce popsicle would look beautiful right here, especially because these are really vibrant in color, these sedums. And so because of that, I think that's going to look a lot prettier than this. Over in this direction, there's still a lot of work yet to be done here. So I will bring you guys to that when I'm starting to do all that. My sedum over here that I planted here, this came from my other home, and it's doing fantastic. This is very cold hardy. Love this. Totally would recommend this. And I will do a video on plants that I recommend on a later time, but this one for sure. Got some echinacea over here. Right over here is the spider wort that I brought from my other home, and that's also cold hardy, so that'll do fine. And then I transplanted a lot of marigolds that were over in this garden and transferred them over here. There were also some that were over in this area that I had to dig up. So rather than getting rid of them and tossing them, I planted them here. We'll see what happens with those. You can't see this very well, but right over here is my Jupiter's beard. Red valerian is right here. That's also cold hardy, so that's going to do fine. And then I relocated 2, was it 2? Yeah, I think only 2 of the heathers. As you can see, it's bloomed, and they're doing fantastic. And I did this like in late fall. Not the right time to actually be transplanting or relocating plants. And then this one here, it's got some buds, so it's doing fine. Looks like it is having some issues, but for the most part, I think it's fine. And then I also relocated some yellow-eyed grass, and they have these little yellow flowers, like, you know, hence to the name, yellow-eyed. And so I transplanted these, and that one right over there, and relocated it from right in this group. I kind of thinned this area up. This here is the one that concerns me of whether it'll make or not. And this one here is the, oh my God, I can't think off the top of my head. I'll put the name down. Hopefully it's just dormant and that it made it. I'm going to guess that maybe it died, but then, you know, I do have some limbs here, as you can see, that are pliable. So that tells me that maybe it didn't kill it completely, but it definitely... Oh, and do I see a bud? I'm not sure if I see a bud there or not. But we'll see. I'm really praying that that one holds up, because this is one plant I really want in this yard. This plant here I had purchased like in the winter or fall. I guess it was around fall of last year. And this is a pinnacle hydrangea. And I transplanted this over here, or I planted this from I transplanted it from the container that it came in to the ground here. It wasn't doing really well when I had it up on my porch, but I'm going to guess, because these are also kind of hardy, that it's going to do fine, because I see buds on it all along. I don't know how well you can see those, but it's going to do fine. And all I have to do is kind of protect it a little bit from the deer, because I know that they like pinnacle hydrangeas or any kind of hydrangeas. So I will try to protect that, but that's going to do beautiful in this area. I'm going to love it. And then kind of move and relocated some of the plants around here, like all of my bearded irises. And when it wasn't snowing, I came out here to check them. They were doing just fine. And then my butterfly shrub over here, that one is new, and that's going to look beautiful, and it's still green as it should be, and it's going to be nice and healthy. That's very nice and hardy. Also deer resistant, rat resistant, so I'm happy to see that. That's going to get about 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide, so it's going to just look really beautiful, because this California lilac over here, this actually will bloom like in springtime. So then this will then bloom come summertime. So it's going to, at least my goal is for this area, is to have ongoing blooms throughout the whole season, starting from spring all the way into fall. So that's the goal for that. This lilac tree right here, I was going to try to relocate it over to this area, but I think all the roots between the lilac tree and this, I just couldn't even dig into the ground at all. And so I thought, you know what, just leave it alone. But look at all this. It's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see what that looks like. And it's a spring bloomer, so we'll update you on that. And then over here, I relocated from that garden bed to here, a Japanese currants. And this is a kind of like, I guess you could consider it as a fruit tree, because you can make jams and things out of the fruit. And this is supposed to be beautiful. And as you can see, all the buds on it. It is just doing fantastic. And then on my newest garden over here, this dogwood over here, I relocated it from that garden over to here in late fall when it was already frosting in the ground. And I think this is going to be just fine. Right now it's dormant, so there's not going to be a lot of life to it, but all the limbs are quite pliable, which is a good sign to know if your tree is or plant is live or dead. So I'm going to guess that it's doing fine. Plus it has some new growth right here. Anything that's really dark in color is new growth. So I'm going to guess that took the transplant quite well. And of course, the white pine is going to do fantastic. So will the butterfly shrub that I planted over here will do just great. And then here is the thing, you guys. When I transplanted this Japanese viburnum, which was a big plant, well-established plant, that was over in this side. When I transplanted it over here, it had some buds. And when we got hit by the first real cold frost, it killed those buds. And so I'm not sure if I killed this year's flowers or not by doing a late relocation of this plant. But look at all the buds on this. Look at all that. It is alive. It even has some leaves forming. So this is a blessing. This is something I am like super, super stoked about, because this is going to get fairly large. And in the fall, it's just vibrant red, and it is just gorgeous. And I've never seen the flowers on this because we weren't here in the springtime on this property. So I am excited to see what those are. So I'm happy to see that. I wanted to update you on that. And then we'll just kind of take a look at around the property. And again, all these woods that you see, those are majority of the trees are maple. There might be some birch in there, but primarily all maple with a little bit of evergreens mixed, but all that is our woods. Let's go over to this garden, because this was also my newest garden after moving here. And over here, I had relocated a couple of the candy tufts and a bee balm from over in that garden over there that I had to pull out a lot of the plants out for them to build this great building that we have. So I made a garden bed here, and I planted a few of those plants, which was a couple good sized chunks of candy tuft, and they were flowering, but I think they're going to do just fine. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit of the flower buds and stuff. So, yeah, I think these are going to be fine. And again, this is Miss Molly or Miss Violet butterfly shrub, which is also going to get about 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide. So it's going to have plenty of room here to just shine in this area. And it's also deer resistant and rabbit resistant, which I haven't seen a rabbit in this property since we moved here. So I don't know if they exist out here. And then here's my bee balm that I also relocated. And I will show you a little clip of that there is new growth down here, because I never took out the old growth just because of having the birds munch on that. And plus because I had relocated it after we were already getting frost. I think it was even first frost date. And it took the transplant. It's got new growth. I love it. The rest of my other gardens, I cleared out some of the stuff that was here. Pruned back all of my peonies out from here that were, one was I believe here, one here. There's a ton of bee balm over in this direction. And looks like I have some either crocus or probably daffodils growing. And then there was a lot of marigolds and dianthus over here. There's still a little bit of dianthus here and here. I'm yet to clear out a lot of creeping Jenny that's in this area. Back to this side, one thing that I would never ever do again is cover and try to protect with frost cloth my butterfly shrubs. This one here is just in a pot, and it does show some signs of that it's alive, but I could have killed it. And it is getting some growth back, but I would never do that. In my opinion, when you're trying to protect certain plants that are cold hardy to begin with, and this is just my guess, let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments, but it just was rotting it. And so I would never do that again. And then over here, looks like I have some irises coming up over here. And I have my peonies on in between all of this boxwoods. This was another plant right here. This, what is this? This is a azalea. This azalea was actually in this side over here. And because they were having to dig underneath, I decided to relocate it over here. And what I had over here was an obedient plant. And I took it out because I wasn't really sure if I liked it or not. I mean, it was kind of pretty, but insignificant in my opinion. So I took that out, and then I relocated some echinacea that was over on this side and transplanted it over here. Yeah, and this azalea is doing perfectly fine. It's still as green and it doesn't look harmed at all. It's even got some new foliage in it and some new buds. So yeah, that's going to do just fine right there. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. And then I located the echinacea and I relocated it over into this garden here, but you can't see it. And I'm not sure if it survived or not, but we'll find out. Let me go back over in this direction. Everything over here is doing great. I've got some allium millenniums over here. I've got some yarrow over here, which is going to be just fine. I've got some lilies over here, some daylilies over here and here. This one over here, I relocated it from over in that garden over to here. Last I looked at it, it was doing fine. And then, of course, I've got my Hanacola grass over here. That's going to do fine. Another one that I'd recommend. And then over here, I've got a heuchera that looks like it's been getting eaten, to be honest with you. Maybe deer are tracking through here. I don't see any deer tracks or anything. But something's munching on it. And then some more red valerian Jupiter's beard here. And then I have some Miss Piggy over here, and also some more Jupiter's beard here, my heucheras over here. And in this area, I have some hostas. We'll see what happens with those this year. I also planted another hosta right over here. We'll see what happens with that. And then my mums. These are going to be fine. I'm going to guess they're going to be fine. These ones have always come back for me every year, and there's probably greenery underneath. And then I have planted a few more heucheras over on this side. These ones are called Orchorabelle, Plum Crazy. So those are doing fine, looks like. And yeah, so that's my shade gardens. That was the first garden I created when I first moved here. And y'all got to see me prune my rose bushes. So you know a little bit about those. And this is what they look like. That's what's left of them. I don't know if I showed you the end results of that, but that's what they look like right now. No leaves, which is what we want. And then this one's a profuse bloomer. And this one is one that I absolutely love. You can see all those buds coming out. So it's going to do just fine. Roses are, in general, I think are pretty hardy. And this ones have tons of buds on them. So I'm excited to see what both of these rose bushes look like, because I never got to see what the blooms were like. They weren't in bloom when I got here in July of last year, and never bloomed since either. And then this pot right here, I brought from my other home, which has some dianthus in here, and then a blackbird euphorbia, which is a dwarf euphorbia, and that's also doing great. Another candy tuft over here. And then, oh, you know what? I also have some irises that I took out from this garden bed, and I never got it in the ground. And there's one more that I have over there that I never planted in the ground. And both of them were starting to show some growth. And so we'll see come springtime, or once this all thaws out, what it's going to look like. And I'll update you on that. In this garden, you saw me clean this garden up, so you can see now everything that's coming up. Looks like a lot of crocus and probably daffodils. It might even be some grape hyacinths in here. Then my lilies, which you can't see that one. That's right in this ring, but you can see this one. And then, I don't know if you can see all those little spikes that are coming up. That's the Lucifer Cocosima that's coming back up. I didn't think they came up this early in the year, but they did. And everything else is doing fine. I have a lot of daffodils that I planted in this container. This is where our new cabinet is for upstairs. It's going to be white in color and it's going to be beautiful. And it's snowing again. And then over here, I did a little bit of cleanup. I forgot to take my bucket, but I have some irises over here. You can't see, but right where I'm pointing at, there's some succulents there. And then over here's a group of bee balm, some obedient plant right over in this area, and then a lot of marigolds in this area. There is a couple of lilies over in this side. There's some irises in here as well. But yeah, look at, it's just beautiful, and it's snowing again, and it's just gorgeous. And my feet are freezing. Well, I don't see any deer tracks whatsoever. Earlier, I was talking about how much wind whips around in this whole area. Well, having this pergola built, still snow drifts in there, rain drifts in there. So I will be enclosing that, so stay tuned for that, because I do intend to do a garden over here, as well as maybe put some lattice in that side just to kind of shelter that a little bit. I still need to work this garden bed. I started kind of pulling out some of that blackberry canes that are on here. And then our beloved chickens, let's go check them out. You guys, I know, are missing them. And look at this. This here is a maple tree, and it's getting all its buds. It's going to look beautiful. I will be removing these and recreating those flower boxes. Let's go in here. Hi, ladies. And in here, we have electrical here, which, to be honest with you, is not very significant, but it puts the lights out for them, so it works really wonderful. Let's go see if we got some eggs, because I know... Oh, you want to be petted? You want to be petted? Oh. How are you guys doing? It's good to see that you guys are up on your roost. And they did give us 3 eggs recently. Look at that. 3 eggs. Oh, my God. Thank you, girls. Thank you so much for the eggs. Yeah. Which one is the one that's given us these eggs? Are you the one that's given us eggs? Hmm? Yeah? Is it you? Well, hopefully I don't break them on the way home. Thank you. You guys keep up the good work. Hope you're staying warm. So yeah, we have... sorry about that. So we have electrical right here, and then we put some plugs in here so that we could, and we put it really high so that we could put the lights up high and keep them from harm's way. Okay, so again, all this right here, this forest right along here is our forest. But one thing I want to show you, Brad did this for me, where I can come all the way around here. I mean, granted, there's still blackberries that need to be cleared out. But while he did all this, I noticed that we have a couple of holly trees. And this is really nice to see, because although I don't care for holly trees near a garden bed, I'm really happy to see them here. So that's one of them. And then this one. And the reason why I'm so happy about it is because this one actually has some berries on it. Isn't that just gorgeous? So I'll be able to do projects for Christmas with that, with those berries. So I'm excited about that. So he also cleared it out for me over so that I could walk all the way around. And all this needs to still be cleared out. My goal is to get rid of all these suckers from this maple tree and clear out all these blackberry bushes. I love blackberries, don't get me wrong, but they can take over a piece of property really quick. So for that reason, I want to get rid of all these, especially because this is where my soil is right here, and I just want to be able to walk out here and feel like I'm not having a lot of stuff to kind of try to maneuver myself through. In this area here where all this compost has been piled up over here, in this area you've got a lot of marigolds in here that were tossed. I'm guessing that they were tossed, or maybe they were purposely put in here. And then this mount here, which is just composting material, but that's where all my zucchini came from. And it was in abundance, and it was very much appreciated. And yeah, so let me just take you real quick in here. And then we'll go into the backyard just a little bit. And then right over here, I have about 8 blueberry bushes. There's one here, one right there. And then I've got about 6 of them over on this side. And when we initially got here, this whole garden here, I mean, the weeds were like at least 6 feet tall. So my grandson and another guy that I hired, long story short, they didn't realize that there was black blueberries here, and neither did I. And so they cut them down to the stubs. But I see that there's a lot of new growth, so they're very much alive. Now blueberries can be taken way down, but you will also remove that year's fruit. So I'm going to guess that I'm not going to get much of a fruit harvest this year, but I'm just grateful to have them still alive. And so what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to actually uproot them and put them in a container so they're above ground. And yeah, I'll be redoing this whole garden, you know, but one step at a time. When you live out in the country, there's a lot of work, especially when it's left quite a bit of a mess. Now, I do have a great, kind of like a wine type shrub here, and I see that it's coming back up. I really kind of want to remove this, or at least remove a lot of them, and then do raspberries in here. But these ones here are more of a wine berry, and they look like a raspberry, but they're just super, super tiny, and they are flavorful, but they're really insignificant, the fruit is. And so we'll see what happens this year, but I would like to remove at least a couple of them, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 or 7 over here. And then I've got my grapevine over here. I've got 2 grapevines, and these are delicious grapevines. They're also a wine grapevine, and I do need to really work this area up. I'll bring you to how I'm going to be kind of protecting them and tying them up to this wire right here and everything. But it does need a little bit of pruning and a little bit of cleanup, more to go, but so far so good. And then in between here, and I probably trampled all over them, but right here I have at least 4 rows of strawberries. Next year I'll do a little bit more of a hoop house for them to kind of protect them, but for now we'll see what happens come springtime. And then this area right here, I'm not sure what the previous owner grew, but I'm hoping to put a hoop house right here. Just a small one, nothing really huge, just so that when I buy plants for the following year, I can put them here and keep them nice and enclosed. And if I don't do that, my other thought was maybe enclosing this and kind of making it into an extended greenhouse, just so that I could put some of my plants out here. Right along here, there is a couple of good size Shasta daisies, which I would like to divide come springtime. They're pretty big, and so I need to make some type of support for them so that, you know, it keeps them more upright. Otherwise, they just tend to flop over. She did have some garlic over here, So I'm not sure if there was some garlic left from last year, but I do see signs of something growing here, and I'm hoping it is more garlic. So these will be my 4 little major garden beds for springtime if I can ever get to this area. And then this is staying nice and dry down here. I have sheltering over here my Bishop Dahlia. Wanted to test to see if it kept it nice and warm enough to bloom for next year. So I'll update you on that. And then my greenhouse still has not been touched. Stay tuned for that as well. One of the reasons why I haven't really touched this is because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the flooring. I know that, most people would say, leave it be, why mess with it? Because, you got a floor, right? But the thing is that, and I think I mentioned this on another video, you can see grass is growing and mice do get in here. So I want to put more gravel on top of this. If I don't just leave it as gravel, put some stones. This way, mice aren't coming in here. Because if it's one thing that the previous owner mentioned to me, she said, you need to cover your plants when it's in here because mice will get in here and they will eat it. And that's probably not just exclusive to mice. It could also be like gophers that come in here. And so for that reason, I want to make sure that the floor is nice and secure and, that it's enclosed basically to its maximum that I can to keep any rodents from coming in here and destroying anything that I'm actually working on. So that's where my greenhouse is. And then this garden area here was really picked up because of having the electrical done to both the chicken coop and the greenhouse. So I kind of somewhat pruned this, but to be honest with you guys, I think the deer got to it. Probably need to prune it a little bit more. It's a beautiful pink rose bush. It may even be a David Austin. I'm not really sure. It's not tagged anywhere, and I didn't live here and I didn't plant it, so I don't know what kind of rose bush it is, but it's profuse bloomer, I do know, and it does have tons of buds on it. And then I had some dianthus and some lilies here that I had to relocate over to my garden over there that I showed you in a previous video. Still a lot of ground cover here, like Creeping Jenny, and I'll put the other name of the ground cover because it escapes me right now. But they're in this area and it's just way too much for these plants. I think I even have a little bit of bee balm here, and so a lot of these plants get kind of hidden from other plants, so I want to go over that and just make a lot of these plants really shine rather than kind of hiding them in this garden area. So then this camellia over here, it's got tons of buds. I believe it's red in color, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure what this is. I will have to update you because I have not seen it bloom and I can't remember what it looked like before. And then right here I have some Delphine Eldora, Sproul Laurel, I think it's what another name for it is. And that's going to be blooming here soon. Then I have right here a maple tree. I really kind of would like to relocate it, but only because my window here that overlooks my garden over here may be obstructed over time. But for now, it looks beautiful there. And plus, it's just really too close to all this stuff. And then right here, I'm not sure. Oh, this is some kind of a berry vine. This is something that one that I would like to remove. I'll put the name down. But it's got tons of buds on it. And you can see that it's coming to life. And so we'll see what happens. But I really think that I need to move that. It's just way too big for this area and relocate it somewhere else. I do have some foxgloves that were here last year. We'll see if those come back up. I have a fern over here. It looks like a Christmas sword fern. And then over here I do have another peony. This one looked like earlier, like it really needed some soil, but it looks like a lot of buds are coming in. I don't know if you can see that, but it is above ground and needs soil. So I need to take care of that come springtime. I do have another lily that I brought from my other home, a tiger lily, and that we'll see if that comes back up. And then over here, this was this beautiful, looked like an orchid. I don't know the variety, but isn't that just beautiful? We'll see if that comes back up. I pray to God that it does, because that was gorgeous. And then I have another dogwood over here. This one, let's see if it has the name on this dogwood. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a chorus. It's a stellar pink. Yeah. I can't even tell how big it gets. I'm going to take that off. It's choking this tree anyway. There we go. Yeah, it's choking that tree. Look at that. It's leaving a ring. But yeah, that's going to look beautiful there. And then over here I have yet another Eldora over here. So that's going to be exciting. And another azalea here, another boxwood, and then another camellia over here. There is a lot of plants over here as well that I think they're geraniums, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll let you know come next year. And then there's a lot of creeping Jenny that I need to remove out of this garden and recreate this completely. I have my hot lip salvia right here, and this one no doubt will come back because it's pretty cold hardy, but it's just dormant. So we'll clean her up, make her look prettier for this year. And then at the very end here we have a clematis, and I'm not sure the color or the variety, but looks like it was quite beautiful from the amount of foliage, and I do need to take that down. I just need to be able to identify it so that I know how to actually trim it. But if I can trim it even a fourth of that, cut it down to here in springtime, should be fine. Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it. My toes are frozen already, and so I'm gonna call it a day. But I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. I haven't broken my eggs. I think there's... Oh, I broke my egg. Oh no, that's gonna be awful. Oh, I broke an egg in my pocket. Oh my God. Okay, at least I have two. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.